Hi, this is Linda from Scullywag, and I'm going to walk you through how to change the appearance of your WordPress website. After you've installed WordPress, you will go to the admin section or the dashboard, which looks like this. This is where you look after all the admin. This is where you go to enter your post or set up your website pages. It's also where you do things such as approve or send to spam comments that appear on your post. You also come here to install plugins which perform a function on your page or behind the scenes. That might be something like social sharing buttons, or it might be something like protecting your website from being hacked or making the website run more smoothly. But today we're going to look at changing the appearance. When we talk about the appearance, we're talking about the theme. That's how WordPress categorizes it. So if you go up here where it says website title, you can also toggle between looking at what it looks like to your visitors and the back end. I'm just going to right click here, and you can see the standard skin or theme that came with this when I installed it. So if you want to change that, you come down to appearance over here in the menu and then themes. You can go straight to customize, but I want to show you the themes. When I installed this, it came with 3 WordPress themes. This is 2017, that's the one that we have. And we can tell that that's the one because it has the customize button here. We also have 2015 and 2016 here. If we want something a little bit different, we can come over here to add new themes, or over here, add new. And this will take us to this section. It's got the featured ones, also popular ones. So you can see we've got over 2,800 popular ones to choose from. You can see what the latest themes uploaded. Anybody more or less can submit a theme. So there's thousands. You can only access all these themes and all the very many plugins if you are using your own hosting, or if you're paying for pro hosting through WordPress. If you're using WordPress, the free version, you will probably have access to a certain amount of themes. I'm not sure how many, but I believe the plugins themselves are very limited, just more or less a standard, whereas it's incredible the amount of plugins and themes you have when you're using your own hosting. And you can see there's many here, all sorts of different layouts. And talking about layouts, you can come over here to the feature filter. If you want to have mainly a blog, you would maybe select blog. If you're looking to sell online, you'd select e-commerce, and all the different types of subjects. All sorts of features, and then you have the layout, how many columns you want, whether you want a left or a right sidebar, and you just select that and then select feature filter, and that'll show you ones that only give that. I'm going to have a look at the popular and just pick something. You can see there's many different designs. You've got some that have a right sidebar, some that have a left sidebar, some are set out like a magazine or a news site. This is also very popular, everything on one page. And all sorts of features. What you need to keep in mind too is, just because just say we went and downloaded this one or installed this one, your website isn't going to look like this straight away. You're going to have to put in your own photos. These are actually posts, these ones here, so you'll have to put in a few posts and have featured images for it to look like that. It's not going to look like that straight away. And sometimes with the features, you need to sometimes upgrade to the Pro version so that you can get the full functionality. If you have some sort of coding background, if you're comfortable changing CSS or HTML, you might feel quite comfortable changing some of this for yourself, but a lot of people just upgrade to Pro. Okay, let's install this one. So you would just literally hit the install button. Doesn't take long. Then you can activate it, or you can go to live preview. You can see it's taken us to the themes page and added it there, and it's gone from having customize here to customize over here. So we're going to select the customize button. We could have just selected customize over here as well. So these are all the areas that you can change, and this gives you a preview of what it will look like. You can see it's a little bit different to how it looked when we selected it. So site identity is just your site's name. So you put in your website name, put in a tagline if you want. You can see it's up there. You can put in a site icon. As you can see, it needs to be 512 by 512 pixels, which is quite big. What that does, it just puts in a little icon up in the bar up here. If you look up here, I've got a couple of tabs open. You can see one for my Scullywag astrology website. You can also see one for the Scullywag social media. You can see it's quite small. This is on my desktop. It's not a small monitor, but it's quite small. You can barely see it there, but it also shows up on your mobile devices. This is a screenshot of my mobile, and you can see here my astrology website fave icon, my Scullywag social media site icon. You can see it usually just defaults to the name of the website if it is doesn't have a fave icon, or you can see this one here also has a fave icon. Okay, so that's that. Then we just go back. Now we can select colors. So we can go for a light scheme or a dark scheme. If I select that, you'll see it'll change the look. I'm going to go for light. You can select the background color, so we could go, say, purple, blue, green. I'm going to stick with they had a kind of grey, so that'll do. As you can see, these are just standard colors down here. You're not committed to those. You can select a color and then pick from that, and you can, if you like, say, oh, that's close, but I'd like it to be a bit darker. You can use this thing here to change the colors a little bit. Or if you know the hex code for it, you can just go in and put this in, like that's that one. Or you could so yes, but we're just going to go for the grey, a nice light grey. That'll do. So we've selected that, and we got the header text color. So if we want to change that, you can see it's changed that up there. And then the link color. So you can see there's links here in the sidebar, and also you can link to the reply. Somebody's made a comment on here, or the date. That's for when you want to search for, when you have much more content, somebody wants to search by date or by category. So we can change the color to red. Oh, no, sorry, that's the header text. The header text up there, and the link color is here, so we could change that to, say, red or green or we can go with the blue. There we go. Then back again, layout. Now this concerns the sidebar. The sidebar is just where you put extra information on a mobile device. All this area will go underneath the content, the main content, but on a desktop it will show up like this. Oh, actually, here you go. This shows you what it looks like on a tablet and a mobile device. So as I was saying, that would go under the main content, but I like to work in the desktop for the moment. So you can have the search bar on the right and the content on the left, or you can have the content on the right. It's just slowly changing it. Content on the right and the sidebar on the left, or you can have no sidebar. I quite like the sidebar on the right myself, so that's what I'm going to select. Then we have header images. You can see they've got several in here already, and they just rotate. If you want to add a new one, you add a new image. This takes you to your media library. There won't be any photos in here when you first start. You can see that the maximum upload file size is 2 megabytes, and for this it's suggested image dimensions of 1000 by 288 pixels. If you want to upload your own, you just go up there, select the file. Where are we? I'm just going to pick the compass. Can take a little while to upload your media, and how big or how much time it takes to be downloaded online is something that you do need to consider. You can see over here, this one is 131 kilobytes. The dimensions are 900 by 600. You can actually go in and edit that if you want, and do all sorts of things. I would likely just do that before I got there, but you can put in alt text. If somebody shares this page and this image is the main or the featured image for this page, the alt text will be what comes up as a description. So what do we call this? We call this my website. It's all mine. And the description apparently should be something like, in this case it would be like compass, old map, you know, maybe brass compass. It should be a literal description, but what a lot of people do, they put in something else that tells people a little bit more, helps. Well, I don't know if it does help, but the assumption is that it would help with ranking in search engine optimization. In a case like that, if you're a website that's to do with, I don't know, computers, you might put in computers, laptops, whatever else you're interested in gaining search engine optimization for, but I'm just going to leave that blank. Because this is for a header image, it's going to ask us to crop it because it's only for a certain size. So if we just wanted that, we would leave it there. If we wanted it up here, we would leave it there. I'm going to just put it there, crop it, and you can see it's put it up here. We want to use something else, we can select whatever we like, and you have this randomize uploaded headers. and it will just have it so that different headers are used at different times. And we'll just go back. Background image. If you have a really large image, and it might be something very subtle with, say, a logo on it or something, you can select it. If I was to use, say, this, not that you would, but you can see that it puts that background on it. It's not big enough to really look good, but if you had a pretty seamless tile with, say, initials in it or whatever you want, you could put that in there. If it was just a plain color you were after, you would be better off just choosing that color when you put in the background color. If you do choose an image though, you can choose how it will present. You can see that this is actually moving the direction of the background, but I don't want it, so I'm going to remove it. You can see it's gone back to the default. And now we have menus. Menus is another really video. It can be a little bit confusing in that, but basically this is your menu here. You can have menus for all sorts of things. So it wants us to select what is the primary menu, so that's what it's going to be. Let's create a new menu. Let's call it pages or main pages. Okay, you can see it's disappeared what it had there for the standard. We're going to add items, so we're going to add a home page, front page, you can see it's adding over here, and a sample page. If we wanted to, we could add post, category, tags. So, and we're going to put here automatically add top level new pages. Just say I put in later on I decided to put in a contact page. That means that it will automatically add this contact page here. If I decide to put in another page for, I don't know, business ideas, that would put another link here. We can also create another menu. Let's see, I call that social media. We go to add items. So you can see that we've got several options. You can add pages, you can add posts. We've only got one post in this example. We could add categories, which we only have uncategorized at the moment, tags, which we don't have any, or we can add custom links, and this is where we would put somewhere like facebook.com, and then you would put in the link to your Facebook page, which might be that. The actual text that you want to show up, let's put Facebook. Who else? Pinterest. Oh. Add to menu, and it could be anything. It could be a link to another site that showcases some more of your work. It could be a link to anything. Who else do we got? Instagram. Oh. Okay. We might decide that, oh, we don't want these pages up here. We want this one, the social media ones, to be there. And if I do that, I just select primary menu. You can see it's changed that. But I want to keep it with the other ones. And go back. Yep. So you can see now when it comes to the primary menu, which is this one here, I can have main pages, which it already had, social media, or back to main pages again. Go back. And now we have widgets, and we've got several areas. So you've got the main sidebar, which is here. You've got footer area 1. So you would have all your information on here. Obviously your page, once you get some work on there, will actually have a lot more information on it, but you have 3 footer areas, and that's 1, 2 and 3. So if we go to the main sidebar, we might decide I don't really want a search bar, so you would just remove it. You may decide that no, I don't want recent comments, so you can remove it. Or you can add something. You might decide to add archives, and you would put here archives. You can see it's done that over here, and you can display it as a drop down. Oh, it's not done yet. So it will select by month. There's only 1 month obviously because it's only just been done. Or you can show post counts. And you can see there's only 1. And you go done. You might decide you want to move that up the top. These can all be moved pretty easily. And whether you want to do another widget. You might decide, there's not a real lot. As you become more involved in your WordPress site, you'll download other widgets, and yeah, you'll be able to add much more. You might decide to put an image in there. You can select an image. It will automatically shrink it. You might want to put a title there. You can see it does that there, but that looks pretty eh. You actually have a link there. What I do with my astrology site, I have a logo there, my little astro girl up here. You can't see much of her there, but I put her there, and then I put a link back to the home page. But we're kind of like, no, I don't like that. I just want to get rid of it, so it's gone. And back there. And then we've got the footer areas. So you might decide, I'm going to put a calendar there. You might want to put search by month. And you can see it's put that down the bottom along with my little title. Because it's the only footer being used, it's taken over the whole area. If I go to footer area 2 and add a widget there, let's say we're going to put, say, recent comments. You can see that's there, and it's actually shrunk the calendar because the calendar doesn't have the whole run of the footer area now. It's got to share it with this one. You can, particularly when you get many more comments, you might have 150 comments on the site. You don't want 150 comments showing up in your footer. You might just say 5 or 1 or however many you want. You might say, no, that looks awful. Add another widget. Navigation menu. And we'll put main pages. So you can see that there, and you can see it's taking over just about half. If we go into the third area, we might put in let's put in recent post. And you can see it's shrunk them again. And again, you can limit how many posts to display and whether you want the post date or not. So if you want the post date, you can see it now has the post date next to it. You don't have to put those things there. You can put anything you like. You could put a video down there. You could put say a link to your Facebook page. You could have a little widget there that shows you the latest stuff that you've pinned to Pinterest or Instagram or your latest Twitter feed. It really is unlimited. It's just a matter of what you've got for your plugins. So that's that. And then homepage settings. Homepage, depending on how you're running your website, you might want to have it like a blog, whereas your latest post is on the page, on the front page all the time. You might want a static page where you're telling people all about the business or whatever it is that you're doing with the website, and you have a separate page simply for your blog post, and they would all appear on the blog post. So if it's for your latest post, that's how this one is set out. If it's a static page though, you need to select your home page. So that's the front page, and then you would need to pick a page for your post. So far we've only got sample page, but you could elect do a new one, say blogs. And that's just a sample page. We would need to go in and actually add that blog page to show off the blogs. But if we change it to sample page, you would see that the sample page now shows the post, which is Hello World, and the front page is your home page. It still has home here because first, when it was starting out, it didn't it didn't know what you were going to do, whether you were going to have your blog post at the front. So let's change that back to blog post. And that's for additional CSS. Unless you're comfortable doing that, I wouldn't touch it. CSS can do stuff like change the color of the actual font. It can change the size of the font. It can change the style of the font. Different themes will give you different options. Some themes will give you the option to change the size and the style of your font. Some will give you that option if you upgrade. So we're just going to say publish. Till we actually publish that, it's still exactly how it was, just over here. But we're publishing it. And if we have a look at this, you can see it's changed. Oh, look here. We've got our blog post. Blog post. And you'll notice that the front page and the home page are exactly the same. So we could get rid of one of those. We would get rid of, depending on what you want, you might find having a page called front page a bit weird. Home would probably be the better option. So in that case, you can just go here. To menus, to main pages. We will get rid of the home page. We don't want that. It's going to disappear. We can actually change the name of that front page to home. Publish. If it hasn't finished publishing, if it's still working on doing the changes, when you go to exit out of it, it will actually come up with a little warning saying, are you sure? Now if we go to pages, you will see we've got the blog post, and it tells us that that's where our blog post will go. That's the post page. You can see the front page is the front page, and I'm going to change that. You can edit that to say whatever you want. Home. Update. And if we go over here, you will see that this has become home. The front page is gone. You got sample page and blog post. Go back to your dashboard. And that's how to first start with your theme. That was a very, very simple theme. The more experience you get and the more experience you bring when you do come in will determine how easy or how difficult or complicated it is to change a theme. And I hope that was of some help. And if you like this or found it helpful, please like, maybe subscribe. That would be great. And have a great day or night. Thank you.